seeing you as a young dude there and then seeing what happened, I wasn't surprised because of the environment in which you're coming out with and the track that you took. And I thought either you would have, and dude, just speculation, people on that trajectory either end up dead or they end up jail. And you ended up like almost that injury fucking saved your life, because I was kind of nervous. If you hadn't have fell and you hadn't hurt yourself, where would that have taken you? Because I mean, dude, it's like I said, you're either going to be in jail or the grave.
Yeah. Well, and that's the two ends that I was looking at. I mean, the crew that I was running with, just because of, you know, when you're kind of a nefarious person, or you're telling yourself that you are, you don't go to the bar with the church boys. You know, the bars get a little darker, the smoke gets a little thicker, and the friends get a little meaner. And that's very, very true. You know, I found myself in some situations, you know, hey man, I just need to ride along, buddy, for this job, or I needed something for this. And, you know, job not being a construction site, you know, being a job being something else. And, you know, definitely finding the dark culture of the drug world and all that kind of stuff. And then doing some debt collection, because you're just a big dude with a mean face. You know, you find yourself in some pretty dark holes. And I certainly can tell you from either my own hand, it would have been death, or if somebody else got a hold of me first, it probably would have been jail for some other reason. And not saying that as like a bad person. I'm saying that as a scared to death, insecure, broken person.
Yeah.
That
dude,
just,
and
I
just
didn't value myself.
And then, you know, and then like that fall, and then trying to, you know, reborn yourself. And man, I remember when I saw you, and this was maybe a couple years after, when I saw you out at Sornex, man, and you were big. You were like 330, 340 pounds, and like the edema in the ankles. And I think I remember talking with you and being like, dude, like I've seen that on my friends. I've seen it on big dudes. And like, you either fucking keep going to where, you know, we're cutting you out of your house to put you in a casket, or you fucking make a life change. And all of a sudden, when I saw you on your Instagram, you were like day one. And I think now you're like on day 795 or something.
863.
863. So. What was the catalyst, man? Like, I mean, I know we saw this piece, but like, what was the catalyst that took you to the like day one? Well, like, what was the night before, the momentum leading up to it? What was the challenge? What was, you know, what was the mission? I mean, I don't even know if you knew, but it was like, you know what, I got to put this out there to be accountable.
Well, I think it really started with a conversation with my dad, and he really just straight out put it to me that men in the Lilly side of my family do not live to 75. We actually had the two generations beyond him die the same day at 73. So it's like there's something there, you know. My dad's 61, 62 this year. So I'm looking at my dad and I'm like, fuck, man, that's like 10 years, you know, more or less. I can't believe that if you stick to the trajectory, you got 10 years left. Well, then that cycled right down to me, where it's like, holy shit, I got 30 odd years left. Doesn't seem like quite enough. So I set a goal for my 75th birthday. You know, that's kind of an age that I've looked at where I probably still have some cognitive ability. I still be functional, still probably be fun to wake up in the morning and be alive. I didn't want to put something out there like 85 or 90, because I just personally don't want to live that long. I just don't see enough 85 and 90-year-olds with the quality of life that I want to have. So 75 seemed like an attainable goal. Seemed like if I started doing my blood work, which I was already doing some, but I set out a plan with Dr. Foster at Foster Medical in Lexington, Kentucky. Really like beautiful education on hormones, hormone replacement. A prime example of someone that I think is doing it right in a community that can often be labeled as something else. This guy really just like, you go home with a dossier of information and studies and all this whatnot that he gives you before you even start testosterone. Like, he wants you to fully have a spectrum of understanding for what you do. So hormone replacement therapy, getting myself straightened out after the absolute, I call it the truck stop train wreck that my body was after the years and years of powerlifting, the anabolics, the androgenics.